Oh, victory and success. The Wheel of Fortune. Big karmic card. 2 big karmic cards there. Don't worry that these were necessarily upside down. With this particular deck, he doesn't really look at reversals. It's not an energy field that he traverses into. I mean, some people might have said, well, they both came in upside down, and technically that could suggest that maybe these energies are still forming or taking shape. And certainly the Wheel of Fortune, the Destiny card, is a very long duration card. I love it, and it doesn't come out that long. I think it holds great power at the deepest of levels. So you've got 2, 6, 10 and 15. And really I should address each card independently, but sometimes it's quite nice to sort of hold them close up for you to see. The 2 of Pentacles is often about career, choices, decisions, movement, associations, and it is also about our finances as well, when oftentimes our careers are associated with our finances. However, if you're before your working stage of life, or if you're after it and retired, then clearly they can be separated. But this card bodes the potentiality of opportunity in and around your career or finances, so possibly new job offers or moving into something new, changing of a career, opportunities around this, and there are decisions to be made. Sometimes with a 2, it requires balance and thinking and input and dedication. But overall, the 2 of Pentacles is a good card, and it often is referring to this opportunity around either how you earn, how you spend, or how you save your money. But it can definitely be associated with new career opportunities. And after it came the Victory card, and there's not a lot that anyone can say about it except it does suggest victory and success. So yay, blow your trumpet. Now this card usually says you have been working at something or on something or about something or with someone sometimes, but the success is coming. For some of you, this could be a long-awaited exam process and you are getting the results and you are likely to pass. For others, it could have been a project or a design or a creation you have been working on, and it's suddenly about to be produced or made public or put out to the world, and people see it and people hear about it and they find out about the situation and what's going on. So it usually bodes particularly well for your demeanor, for you, for who you are, for what you do, for the ethic you've put in, for the hard work, the knowledge. It is a beautiful card to receive. Now, sometimes for some of you, this may be even more personal in as much as it could be the victory over something else in your life that you have been, dealing with for a long time. And it could be the victory over something like an addiction or an obsession or an illness or a relationship that hasn't been balanced or treating you right or hasn't been working in the right direction. These 3 cards together are telling quite a deep or in-depth story, and they almost, both of these are literally pushing this one right down into nothing. It feels to me as though they are going boom, boom. He disappears into nowhere. Again, you can go so deep with each reading, or you can sit them at a much lighter level. But the depth of these cards here, and they can tell many different stories, and for each of you, there will be a different perspective as to the meanings of these. Number 15, this particular card, is the Devil card, and it often represents Capricorn energy. So this could even represent a Capricorn in your life somehow, and it may be that you've had some imbalance with a Capricorn person who could have been a very close partner, a family member, a work colleague, a boss even, and that somehow there is being some victory and success applied to bringing this back into a balanced relationship. It might be that involvement of a relationship with this person that could have been out of balance, or a person like this. It could be a Capricorn rising person, so on. And of course, Capricorn energies are very strong on the planet at the moment, that it could even be a business or a company that you work for that represents Capricornian, institutionalization, like big governments or big corporations, that there could be a balance or a success or a victory coming into this perspective or realm or dynamic of a seeming relationship or some sort of connection you've had with it, right? 'Cause this is how deep these things can go. So they can go very broad. Because the Destiny card or the Wheel of Fortune has come in and been applying itself here, and also probably involving this as well, but it feels as though this slow turning wheel of evolution has been a significator or a significator of adjustment within this paradigm in here, of acknowledging some sort of success, of showing greater power over this and moving this, any negative perspective of whatever association this was, moving a negative perspective away and bringing the success and victory. Sorry about that. The Destiny card, this is a great name for it. Traditionally it is called the Wheel of Fortune, but I think it gives you a much clearer perspective of how intense this card is. When it turns up, there's something in your life that is taking a major turn, usually for the better. It may involve, as I say, getting rid of something that had been swirling around in the background that may have had a temporary hold or had been blocking these things from happening or occurring. This Temptation card, I feel for most of you, or for a lot of you, has been put to bed somewhat. It's been delivered that's maybe not been delivered. It's been reduced in its power by these overlording or overpowering gateways or portals that are open. This card is very much about the universal timeline of your life. The energies from it are often not directed by yourself. They just come in. They come in through sometimes the most bizarre or unexpected means, and these doorways open and changes of direction take place. It could be very personal. It could be relationship driven, in which case this guy stands for a personal relationship or something that has been in disorder. And you have now acquired the victory to move on and free yourself from it, and the destiny doors have opened and led you in another pathway. For some of you, this could have been a health disorder, like an addiction or an eating disorder, or even a mental health disorder that could be bringing or coming back into some form of balance and positivity, because all these other things have eventuated and are occurring and creating this success. These cards are, as I said, they're powerful, they're magical for you to have received. I feel for most of you they are leading you into a really positive phase of growth, of change, of awareness, of options, of choices, of new directions and success. Pretty much. I mean, how many more do we even need to look at? So maybe I will stop there, because I think they're so good. You know, we can keep looking at the others, but let's have a look at these cards instead. Now, as I said earlier, these can be quite intense, these God, Goddess and Angel cards. I've had this deck for a long, long time, and I don't often even get them out. I find they take a high level degree of intensity to work with. They're very gifted cards, but the interpretation of them and the connection to them can often be difficult, I guess you could say. So let's see how they go for today. What are you getting here? I said to you I felt there was a degree of pleasure from those messages I got at the very beginning, and it says take pleasure in the things you do. I think too this is an opportunity or a time point at which more pleasure may come into your life, or where you may feel more pleasure surrounding your activities or your thoughts. And again, we sort of said that that might be the case because we feel this energy being reduced. It dissipates into the background like that as these kind of positives are brought into the light and brought into the foreground. So pleasure can be found in a raft of different areas of life. They can be found at the physical. They can be found intimately with other partners. They can be found through the intellectual perspective of life, and they can be found through the spiritual and emotional. So when this card comes out, it's also suggesting to you that you should focus on increasing your life with more pleasurable aspects as well. So don't be all work and no play, because often Aquarians can be, as I said earlier, your minds don't stop. And sometimes you aren't in the moment because you're always in another moment, contemplating or thinking or structuring something. So this can be also saying to you, stop for the moment in time and enjoy exactly this. Standing in the water, being at a beach, enjoying some pleasant pastime or activity and really connecting with it and feeling that pleasure through your body, mind and soul. And when you do, you get this amazing flow of creativity and connection to yourself, to your life, to your ideas, to your directions forward. You open up a vortex of knowledge, and that brings into line the second card, which is the Goddess of Knowledge. And it says, start to apply what you already know and trust your intuition. So there's something, especially if you have been seeking for answers or seeking to find something new or wanting to dig deeper into an aspect of your life, or wanting to experience something or even learn something new. You've got the awareness, you've got the knowledge, you've got the ability, and some of this is hidden within yourself and you need to crank it open. And these are the timelines when certain events like this can take place. Some of you have got a wealth of knowledge to open up to, and that knowledge could lead you into this new direction of wherever it is that you wish to go. Knowledge is power, and so for some of you, utilizing this knowledge or calling on your intuition, trusting your gut instinct, opening the third eye in particular, connecting to the spiritual realm or the higher self, you are going to strengthen or empower yourself, and you will regain strength if you had lost it. And sometimes when we lose strength, we lose the act of pleasure because we can become a bit anxious or a bit depressed. So for any of you who have been anxious or depressed, both of these cards could be indicating how to connect with yourself again and at the intuitive and the higher levels to bring about pleasure and understand your deep innate knowledge, especially if for some reason you felt as though something was unbalanced, or someone or a relationship or an institution or a situation had denigrated you or put you down or had taken your strength away or prevented you from acting on it. So again, I'm feeling a lot of power, personal power, coming into, maneuver away from things that may have been holding you back, keeping you down, disallowing the things like pleasure and innate inner knowledge in your life. So they're two beautiful ones. I'll do one more from here for you, for Aquarius. One more. What would you like them to understand or think upon or become aware of for this month of April as they move forward into what seems to be a very new direction? someone is not revealing part of the story. Trust your feelings over what others say. And I think that just takes us back into this situation again. So, goddess of knowledge, trust your intuition, trust what you know, work with it, and don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to stand up and be heard. Don't be afraid to trust your own inner strength, your intellect, but also your gut feelings and your intuitive abilities as well. So if there has been something or someone not telling a full story, then you've got everything in here that's giving you confidence, I feel, to make a move forward and free yourself from either a situation, a feeling, a relationship, or a condition in your own life that will take you into a whole new destiny. And again, this card just keeps coming out, trumps. This is slow moving because this is an evolution of your whole life, and they don't turn up often, these big slow event changes, but they're kind of great experiences when they come about, and they certainly knock out anything else over time. They just dissipate. All the other stuff has played its role, it's done its job. Often too, this is destiny, is karma, like a karmic path. So these things here, they've been and done their time, and for a lot of you, you will have learned the lesson and you are free to move on. It has been served, and that's where the victory comes in as well. So we'll have a look at these cards, and again, these can be quite interesting to work with. They are called what you need to surrender, or what you need to surrender to. Let's just see what comes out. This is for Aquarius for April. Oops. That's a nice one, and it's shot all the way to the floor, but it handed itself facing up like that. Surrender fear. And there's a lot of fear around the planet at the moment, and I think a lot of people are getting trapped into the fear, worry about health and also finances and money, just general anxiety of the 20s as we've marched into them. It is a big decade of change, but also personal fear about our own personal health and even our own personal safety sometimes, as we've seen, could have been the case with some of you dealing with this type of energy, whether it's your own energy or whether it's the energy of someone else or an institution or a situation or a company. But it says, let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment. Focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. To be honest, I got the feeling that there's more positivity, there's more enjoyment than fear around you. But if for some of you this message is really standing out, then listen to it. If it's like you've been afraid to do something, if you've been afraid to take that step forward, if you've been afraid of change coming in, and sometimes when change comes in the likes of this, even though it's usually slow moving, it can be discombobulating and it can create fear, because as humans we like things often to remain the same, and we like to feel safe and nurtured and structured. So sometimes when change comes, it can create a little bit of anxiety or worry, or I'm too scared to do that big change, or change my career, or move to a different country, or change my belief systems. But it's saying let go of any fear that you might have around change that's coming, because it is going to take you to the next step forward. And yes, it can be hard to work through, but it takes you through the fear. Have you ever heard the saying, feel the fear and do it anyhow? Well, maybe for some of you this month, that's a motto. So let's just see if there's another one for you guys for Aquarius. Oops, that's a lot. Surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within you. Silence can heal and replenish you. And I think I said that earlier on, that some of you felt as though you were resting and having very peaceful times, peacefulness and periods of it. And that peacefulness is often full of silence. And in the silence, we hear a lot as well. We hear messages from and to ourselves, and we can feel confidence in our decisions about which way to move. So often procrastination or fear disappear when we take these times of rest. Surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. Oh wow, that's funny. That's kind of like a river in front of that castle on a hill. I don't know if it's a river or the sea, but it looks a bit similar. Surrender to complete healing. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Well, I've said I felt that coming, and that really was represented very strongly with the energy that was coming from the victory and success card at a deep, deep personal level, and you are almost ready to blow your trumpet and to feel that success coming in. And the last one that popped out was surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged a situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more easily. There is quite a lot of drama circulating around the planet at the moment. It may not be your personal drama. Certainly staying calm has been a message for us all in terms of what we're talking about, the coronavirus and health issues. But even if you do or have had your own personal drama, and we may have seen a little bit of it, you know, when you've talked about maybe this vision and feeling as if there was someone around who wasn't being honest or truthful, or had been causing a little bit of, you know, annoyance or frustration, or even a part of yourself that had been doing that. It's all about listening to these other messages that came in and letting that drop off and feeling that peace and harmony that I felt was quite prevalent at the beginning when I tuned into you guys for the month of April. So there you are, Aquarius. You've had a really interesting reading, but some cards, especially I feel at the beginning, really connected quite closely and succinctly, and some of you in particular, about this whole journey and this destiny call and some sort of overriding success, which may have been coming for a long time. It may have been grueling hard work. It could have even been something that you weren't sure that you wanted or were fighting against somehow, whether it was at your inner self or the higher self, or your integrity values or habits or disassociations or something. But you're moving into a really potentially positive time of self-awareness, self-growth, self-love, and, you know, awakening again to the pleasures of these journeys as you move forward, and understanding your innate knowledge of where you're going, who you are, how to get there, and enjoying it.